It actually happened. The Washington Wizards have won back-to-back games for the first time since March of last season. Alex Sarr, a big reason why today. Another amazing performance for the second-year center. How about that? Back-to-back post-game shows with a win. Let's break it all down here on Locked On Wizards.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
DC family, you are locked on to the Washington Wizards. We're your part of our family. We thank you for making Locked On Wizards your first listen every single day. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right before tip-off, check the FanDuel app and see what's dropping during NBA Happy Hour every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Alongside the DC sports content creating savant Abdul Ayyubi, I'm Ben Schrober, and I cover the Washington Wizards for Roundtable IO. 116 to 112. The Washington Wizards defeat the Memphis Grizzlies. They sweep them in the season series. How about that brutal stretch of basketball for the Grizzlies, who lost 2 games to the Wizards in about a week span? That's not a great look for them, but a good look for these Wizards, who have now won 4 of their last 7 games. I didn't think that'd be a sentence that would come out of my mouth at some point, but here we are, AB. The team is quietly playing some better basketball. They try to make it interesting at the end, but alas, a winning streak in the 2025 season.
You said sweet, Ben. I got the broom, the mini broom right here, blue and red. You love to see it. You love to see it. But in all seriousness, I mean, 2 wins in a row, back to back since March. This is the Wizard squad that we've been dying to see. I understand there's going to be fans saying, "Oh, tank, why are we winning?" But seeing Alex Sarr 6 blocks, man, a kid who was written off after a couple summer league games, career high in that. Bilal Coulibaly, back-to-back good performances offensively. Justin Champagnie with a double-double. This is what you like to see. And moving forward, I want to see games like this. And they almost gave us a scare right there at the end with John Moran scoring 5 in a row. But great Sunday. The Wizards just find a way to win. The OGs, CJ and Chris Middleton, close it out. CJ McCollum was scaring me towards the end, where I was like, oh, here we go. Here's the ISO ball. But back-to-back wins without me being in the building. I think me not being there is a solution, man.
You're banned. You're banned from Capital One Arena. I mean, at this rate, though, maybe you'll have to come back if they start winning too many games. And I know we're going to hear it about the team winning too much. That's not the case. They're going to be a bottom 4 team in the NBA this year. Do not worry about that. It's not like they're going to magically be a team that goes on this run and continues to win so many games that they tank their draft positioning. Ideally, like, you're not last right now in the NBA, which means you could fall out of the top 5 again, which isn't exactly ideal, but there's plenty of basketball to be played. I think this team will still lose plenty of games going forward. But my game take, let's get to it. I want to start with the things that I like. You have 8 guys that score in double figures for this team tonight, which is awesome to see, but I really want to highlight Alex Sarr, because at one point I was getting a little worried because he played so well throughout the third quarter. In those minutes he gave, he had a couple of big blocks to get his total up to 6, which was a new career high for Alex Sarr in the block department. And then you see him go on this long run where he's on the bench for an extended period of time, and Marvin Bagley was giving you solid minutes. I will give him that, 22 minutes for Bagley. He was 6 of 8 from the field, so very, very efficient for Marvin Bagley, who ended up finishing with 14 points in the game, chipped in for 7 rebounds as well. But I thought this was an excellent game for Alex Sarr. He was very physical early on in the game, took it right at Jaren Jackson Jr., got stuffed a couple of times, but he returned the favor on the other end on a couple of occasions. I love to see the combination that we saw early on in the game where Trey Johnson gets the start, and you saw those opportunities where Trey Johnson is starting to grow as a player with the basketball in his hands. I have one play that I put up on my Twitter at Strober Sports if you want to go check it out. Got the up-close video of it right there. Trey Johnson gets 2 feet into the paint, something he's getting better at with every single game that he plays. He waits patiently, the double team collapses in on him, and he gives it up to Sarr, who goes up and finishes over his defender. Love to see the physicality, love to see the aggression for Alex Sarr. He was 1 for 6 from 3 tonight, so not a great night shooting the 3 ball. Maybe I'd like to see the volume go down a little bit more in that department, but sometimes it kind of fluctuates with him, because he'll have a night where he shoots 6 threes, he'll have a night where he only shoots 1 like the other night, and he knocked down that one. Only got to the line for 1 free throw as well, so you'd like to see him get to the line a little bit more, but overall he's at 9 for 20. On the field goal percentage department, I love the way Sarr continues to grow as a player. He continues to show why he has been maybe the best player from that 2024 draft class. He continues to play at almost an all-star level at the center position. He's awesome. I'm glad to see his minutes contribute to a win because we've seen a lot of like empty calorie type of games for Alex Sarr this year where he's put up great numbers, but the team has played so bad that it's plagued them. They're unable to get the win. I thought tonight was a night where Sarr was a big reason why they won this game.
And you did this, Ben, without Keyshawn George, who's out with the hip injury. John Morant coming back to the lineup. I think he finished up with 21.7 assists. I didn't realize, Ben, how poor he's shooting from beyond the arc. It's insane. But going back to the Wizards, Alex Sarr, this is what we've been waiting to see. The year 2 kid, the shot died. Everything's falling for him. The last game, he only had 3 rebounds, and I was like, that's not enough. Tonight, 9 rebounds, 2 steals along with his 6 blocks. And him and Jaren Jackson were going at it early. Jaren Jackson was very talented, had 31 points, 8 rebounds, 4 blocks tonight. It was a fun matchup there. And this is what we want to see from Alex Sarr. When we eventually play the elite centers in the Eastern Conference, he's going to match up really, really well. And this is a Grizzlies team that's trying to make their mark in the Western Conference. I think 2 games below 500. They're probably really pissed off right now because you lose to a Wizards team that's essentially tanked.
You know, I think the Grizzlies are awful, to be honest. Like, I just don't think they're a good basketball team at all. It's a bad situation in Memphis. I don't really know what direction they're going. And it's interesting because they draft pretty good players usually. Like, Cedric Howard's been a good rookie for them. But I don't know. It seems like things are kind of falling apart in Memphis, and it's been that way for a little bit. They're not a very good basketball team from the eye test at this point for me.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, Ben. I think tonight with Bub, 12 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists. The turnovers, I know you pointed out on Twitter, 8. That is very concerning. We're probably going to have to talk about that. But still, 7 assists, you take it how you can get it, man. It's like 30-30 Jameis Winston. If you know, you know. But Will Riley, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Even Malachi Branham gave you some nice minutes. No Tristan Vucevic, no AJ Johnson played tonight. But Bilal, Ben, this is back-to-back offensive performances where we're like, this is what we want to see. Yes, Bilal, yes. And 3 steals, 2 blocks. I mean, this is a guy who you might want to consider him being a cornerstone piece to his franchise with the whole contract extension coming up. Trey Johnson, he's only going to get better, Ben. I mean, the fact that people were starting to worry about this kid, his ability to get 2 feet into the paint, and like you mentioned, being patient, dump off pass to the big man for the dunk. Small things like that will add up and why he'll be a big piece for this franchise moving forward. And just great team basketball tonight. Turnovers-wise, I think you had 19 tonight for the Wizards, so that's a little concerning, but you out-rebounded Memphis. And again, this is a Memphis team that you beat less than 2 weeks ago, so they were trying to come at you with revenge with Dylan Brooks coming and watching because they're playing the Suns tomorrow. But I've never seen that, Ben. Like a team that is not playing, the player comes to watch his former team play. But hey, saw him and John Morant chatting it up. I love it. And tomorrow you have Memphis. It's a good matchup. Colin Gillespie. I think Mark Williams, I don't know if he's suspended because he got into a fight with Jose Alvarado, Devin Booker. I think if they play like this tonight, how they play against Phoenix, there's a good chance you win 3 in a row, which in my mind is just crazy to say out loud, but just a great win. You find a way to close it out and you keep moving forward.
You know, although it got really chaotic at the end and they literally almost blew that game the way they did against Charlotte, the way they did against Philadelphia, one thing that stuck out to me was the way this team responded and the way they've been responding as of recent, because at one point over a 4-minute span in that third quarter, the Grizzlies went on a 19-0 run to really break things open. It looked like this was going to be one of the situations where the game gets away from Washington in the second half, kind of the way it did against Charlotte last week. And then the Wizards, in turn, respond with a huge run of themselves. 24-7 was the run the Wizards went on from the minute 7 mark in the third quarter all the way to the 5.5-minute mark of the fourth quarter. Great response in the fourth quarter. And that's back-to-back games where you've objectively played pretty well in the fourth quarter. Wizards outscored the Grizzlies 32-24 in the fourth today. They outscored the Raptors by almost 20 the other night. The fourth quarter had been a big problem for the Wizards in a lot of instances this year, but you like to see them playing better down the stretch, seeing your young guys contribute the way they are to winning basketball late in games. And I know Bub Carrington was problematic in terms of the turnovers tonight with 8 of them. That's something that's obviously unacceptable. A lot of those were careless, to say the least, especially in the third quarter where he had that run. But like we said, he's going to struggle. He's going to have those moments where when he's learning the point guard position, it's not going to look the best. He had been on an 8-game run where the turnovers were down for the guy, and he'd been playing a lot better. Still found ways to contribute, scoring the basketball, hit a couple of big threes in the fourth quarter of this game, ended up finishing 2 for 4 from behind the arc with 12 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists as well. I thought he was distributing decently early in the game. It's just really the second half things kind of fell apart for him working as a distributor. Another thing that sticks out to me, John Morant finishes with 21 points and 7 assists in this game, but he was a minus 22. Like, John Morant was not good in this game. That's part of the disaster situation I'm talking about. I don't think the Grizzlies really have much interest in keeping John Morant around at this point because it's not contributing to them winning basketball games at this point. So the Wizards did a good job keeping him in check for the most part. Like, you got dominated by Jaren Jackson Jr., who's a really good player, and it was tough for Sarr and Bagley, whoever was out there to stop him at times. Let's see what he finished. 11 of 25 from the field, so 44%. Not incredible for a guy at his size, but overall a nice night for him. But I'm glad we saw a lot of young guys once again step up. Trey Johnson, a plus 18 in this game, Abdullah. He is a winning basketball player. Trey Johnson makes you a better team every time he's out there.
And I think when it comes to John Morant's performance tonight, Bilal was given the assignment to guard him, I'm assuming, right, Ben? At least from what I saw early on. And that just goes to show that Bilal can be a really good two-way player in this league. But yeah, I love Trey Johnson, Ben. I think once his shooting ability gets even better, it's going to open up opportunities for more younger guys on this roster. And this is a good win. I'm tired of losing, guys. I understand the draft pick, but we're still going to keep it. Don't worry. This is good culture wins. This is a win that you're going to look forward to 2 to 3 years and say, this is what you build off of. Now, maybe potentially down the line, Grizzlies are going to start hating this Wizard squad because it's like, we lost to this young Wizard squad. Like, how? And they're imploding. I mean, the whole John Morant situation, they have nice pieces, like you mentioned. Aldama tonight, they kept him in check. That first game against Memphis, he was lighting it up from three-point land. Jaren Jackson, maybe that's a guy they move on from. But this is what you do when you're the Wizards. You have 2 back-to-back wins, and you can build off it. And I'll say it's a testament to the fact that you don't have your young player out there in Keyshawn George, who went off the first time you played against Memphis. Good wins, good vibes in the district.
Yeah, I'd agree 100%. And, defensively, you pick it up, you only give up 112 in this game. You held Memphis to 28% from behind the arc, which is better. If you hold a team to under 30% from behind the arc, you're going to give yourself a much better chance to win. And we've had some nights where teams have shot damn near close to 50% from behind the arc against us. So, it's good. It's good to see the team get 2 wins in a row. I'm sure there'll be plenty of more losses that are gut-wrenching and disgusting and downright unwatchable at time, but the team has been watchable and actually enjoyable to watch over the last 2 weeks or so, and that makes my life a lot easier. I think it makes everyone's life at home a lot easier. It's fun to see the team actually compete and go out there and get some wins because of your young guys. That's the way it is. Let's take our first break. When we come back, we continue to break down Wizards and Grizzlies. Remember, segment 3 we'll have Let It All Out for you. Fridays already feel different during basketball season, and FanDuel is making them even better. Every Friday night before the games tip off, FanDuel gives fans a new way to kick off the weekend with NBA Happy Hour. NBA Happy Hour is your official pregame, a limited time window where special offers drop right inside the FanDuel app before the action starts. Friday from 6 to 7:30 Eastern Time has become appointment viewing with NBA Happy Hour. Opening the FanDuel app during Happy Hour always brings something new. Boosts, bonuses, and surprises. It's easy to check the weekly special before tip-off and make a move before the window closes. The timing is perfect and right before the games, right before the weekend starts. It adds extra energy to Friday night basketball without overthinking it. So before tip-off, check the FanDuel app and see what's dropping during NBA Happy Hour every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. A little basketball, a little action, and a whole lot of Friday energy. That's NBA Happy Hour, only on FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Back-to-back post-game shows with a win for the first time in our tenure hosting this podcast, AB. So I guess it's a special edition of Locked On Wizards post-game show. A reminder that we will have the Let It All Out segment. As always, you guys love it. AB will read all your comments and we'll respond to them in the third and final segment. AB, just put you on the spot. What else stuck out to you about tonight?
The fact that it was team basketball, and then in the end, when it looked like Memphis was going to find a way to come back, when John Morant hit that 3 to cut it to 2, you found a way to keep your composure. Chris Middleton, a veteran that I know a lot of people have been giving him slack, and CJ McCollum, but when they're given the opportunities late in moments, they find a way to help out these young guys, especially on a night where offensively they give you McCollum had 16 tonight, where Middleton had 10. I still don't know, Ben. I'm on the fence of if there's a possibility where he gets some trade value for him, because I've seen more people come to the fact that they're going to buy out both of them. We'll see down the line. But just a great team performance. I mean, you can look at everyone outside of Will Riley, who didn't score. Everyone found a way to contribute. And, I mean, Justin Champagnie, Ben, I know I talk about him a lot. I know you guys are sick and tired of me. But
double-double.
12 rebounds at his size. I mean, Drew Gooden and Chris Miller talk about it. Another rebound Champagnie, another rebound Champagnie. I mean, there is not many guys out there in the world that can do what he does with his size, with guys like Jaren Jackson in the paint, finding a way to get 12 rebounds. I mean, he led the team tonight in rebounds. It's just amazing. And when it comes to being underrated, I think he is just displays it. And I'm just happy that the development from the Cowboys to go to now, his journey in the NBA, it's amazing.
You know, and the team offensive rebounding percentage has been up pretty substantially over the last 7 games because of extended minutes for Justin Champagnie. And him contributing the way he has been on that side of the basketball makes them that much better offensively. I don't think the Wizards have been that much better defensively over the 7-game span. The numbers wouldn't really indicate that. Offensively, they've been a little bit better. They've gone from like the worst offense to kind of middle of the pack, which has helped them out. It's gone a long way in some aspects, but the activity they provide on the offensive glass, it wins you extra possessions. It gives you more opportunities to get after it and make the most of these opportunities. 15 offensive rebounds tonight for the team, which is a good number to be at. You're giving yourself more possessions, more opportunities for your young players to go get after it. And, you know, Bilal Coulibaly has also helped out on the offensive glass. I like to see when he is active from that realm. I don't need to see Bilal hang around the three-point line, take a bunch of threes. He took 3 tonight, missed all of them. It's okay. I was satisfied with the way Bilal Coulibaly played because the way he plays defensively allows for them to actually get out in transition and run. He had a couple of big buckets and one that he had before he flexed in front of the crowd after they got a steal and they ran out in transition. He couldn't buy a foul call early in the game, by the way. I think there were like 4 separate times where he drove, and I saw him get obviously fouled, and they didn't call it. But another thing with Coulibaly, in terms of enforcing and playing in transition, the Wizards are one of the top 5 teams in pace in the NBA this season. At times, it feels like they're pacing and playing really fast in transition for no reason. Like, it'd almost be pointless at times. But tonight was a night where I really felt like after they got stopped, they were able to run out in transition and actually make plays. They're getting better at that. I know they've wanted to be a team that plays fast, that plays like that all season long, but now you're seeing some real purpose to them playing with quick pace and transition. It's leading to them getting easier buckets and actually contributing to winning basketball. And it's good to see it happening like that.
And I think that's one of the biggest advantages of being a young squad, Ben, where when your young guys can go out there and have those legs, they can push it. The half-court offense with Bilal, I'm still a little concerned about, but I think if he can figure out that jump shot and being able to take it in when necessary, the and ones, you back-to-back games with them, I love it. I mean, his ability to slash to the lane with his balance and concentration, it's something that you're hoping to see for years to come. And I think tonight, it just goes to show when this team gets a point guard, a pure point guard that can run this offense, it'll look a whole lot better. And again, you hold this Grizzlies team to 112 points, and when on average you give up 130, a lot of positives tonight. And tomorrow is a big test, Ben, because that Suns squad is a squad that can score. Devin Booker, the superstar, can give you 50, 40 points a night. And I think that's going to be interesting to see who they have the assignment of guarding him. Hopefully it's Bilal. But again, back-to-back wins, I can't stress it enough. This is a building block to winning and establishing a good culture here.
I agree with you 100% on that one. I'm excited to see it. I'm happy to talk about the team actually having some success. It's miserable losing games by 30 every single night and being in these ruts that they get into where they lost 14 games in a row. We wanted to see this team compete all season long. That's been the big theme for us all year, is see the team compete night in, night out. Maybe you're not going to win a lot of them. You're still going to lose a ton of games here. You only have 7 wins this year. Like, you're not world beaters. You're not going to be that good going forward. Like, don't get super used to this feeling of winning. But you want a small taste. You want a sliver for these young guys. They need to learn how to win. They need to learn how to play down the stretch. And although it was kind of disastrous in that final 2 minutes or so of the game, I didn't necessarily love to see that. Some bad habits there that you don't want to see continue going forward. But I was glad to see them start off the fourth quarter really strong after a 19-0 Memphis run. That's growth for me right there. That is real growth. AB, one thing I wanted to throw out to you before we get to the break here is this Suns team, they're a lot better than I thought they would be this year. They're hovering right now in the Western Conference, a couple games over 500. Look like they might be a playoff team out there. I thought they were going to be worse. I thought the Wizards might have some opportunities to swap picks with them. Should the Wizards go like all out, to the wall to try to beat them just because of like this whole idea that maybe you get them in a rut, you get them on a losing streak, and you tank them down to eventually be in the lottery or something like that, and you get an opportunity to swap picks with them if they somehow become the team that has a 1% chance of getting the first pick and they get it?
Heck yeah. I mean, you also have the chance to win 3 in a row. I don't know when's the last time we did that here.
I don't even know. We'll have to look that up.
Yeah, but it's going to be fun. The pick swap, I was hoping that you would use it this year too, but it's all right. This Suns team, I mean, they traded for Bradley Beal, thought they had a super team, still trying to figure out what their direction is for the future. But I think tomorrow you have a good shot of upsetting them in the district.
All righty, let's get to our last break. When we come back, your favorite post-game segment on the Locked On Wizards podcast, Let It All Out. You probably thought it was going to be a commercial break, didn't you? Well, no, it's time. It's already time for your favorite segment on the Locked On Wizards post-game show podcast. It is time to let it all out. Back-to-back win edition. AB, let's go.
I just want to say one more thing before I get into the comments. A quick story time. Yesterday, when I was playing basketball, I ran into an avid Locked On Wizards fan. Shout out to Nick. He came up to me. It was like, we were talking. He looked at me. He was like, "You look so familiar. You run Locked On Wizards, right?" He's like, big Wizards fan. I usually hop on when they win, and I was like, hey, it's okay as long as you hop on and tune in. So, Nick, if you're listening, shout out to you.
We get a lot more people that watch when we win. I'll say that. There's 61 people in here, but we had 70 at one point, so we appreciate all of you in here.
Yes, sir. Orlando Vasquez 8353. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing to Locked On Wizards channel. Again, why the F is CJ pulling like he's Steph? Tonight, CJ McCollum only took 12 shots, so as long as it's under that 13 mark, I'm fine with it. And there are times where it is frustrating, but the vets pulled through tonight. The Bub haters, he also says, the Bub haters going to have all the smoke SMH. I mean, Ben, where are the haters at? I don't see any more Bub Carrington comments. The comments that we saw when he was playing that poor, I mean, it was crazy. And now that he's flipped the switch, everyone's gone.
It's perfectly acceptable to assess the way he's playing, and objectively, the first 21 games, he was not good. So it's perfectly fine to point out that he wasn't playing well, but some of the slander he got was a little bit nuts, and hopefully, because he played as well as he did over the last 8 games, people give him a little more slack. You obviously can point out he turned the ball over 8 times, and that wasn't good. That needs to be better, but it's not a reason to give up and say crazy things about Bub Carrington.
Locked on Law, a good friend of the channel, says, stop winning, period. I mean, it's hard to win with Locked On Law. When we win, he's complaining about tanking, and when we lose, it's like we suck. So, Baxter 2014. Hey, Memphis, we own you. Proceeds to say a word that I can't say. I mean, if you look at it statistically, we have this season. You sweep them 2-0, baby. Whiskey forever. What's up, man? Had a little help from the vets tonight. Good team morale game. Indeed, indeed. Uptown Dre says, my brethrens, another solid dub for the Wiz kids. Made their free throws and out-rebounded the Grizz. Yep, indubitably. Locked on Law also says no, according to the dumb F above who asked why CJ had the ball at the end of the game. Locked on Law, give ball to turnover machine. Devian Most One says, Bub is looking like he's been watching film and working in the lab. Tonight, the 8 turnovers was concerning, but this is a high turnover game. That this is an outlier, hopefully moving forward. The 7 assists, you look at that, it's like that's what we like to see. A guy who can dish the ball, a combo guard role that we've been talking about for so long here in DC. And I'm going to go back to the fact that Bub, it looked like he was going to miss some time in that after that fall that he took against the Hornets, but my nickname for him is Iron Man for a reason.
He is an Iron Man at this point. Considering how many games our young guys miss over like the littlest things, like hip flexor soreness today for Keyshawn George. Whenever the Wizards win a game, the next day you can almost guarantee somebody's going to be on the injury report with some form of soreness, and then they probably won't play. That's usually what happens.
Joshua Jenkins 188 says the development of our young players is making progress. Another W. Let's go Wizards. Yes, sir. Wizards 4-3 in the last 7. Remember, Ben, at one point there was people talking about how the fact that this team might be the worst team in NBA history, and there were some solid arguments for that, but they have been turning the corner recently. You love to see it. Locked on Law says bottom 1 or bust, bottom 4 is not bad enough. I mean, why are we freaking out, Ben? We're gonna keep that draft pick. Like, we win 2 in a row and people are losing their minds.
I get that, like, because we had the second worst record in the NBA last year, and then we fell all the way to 6. We could play the draft lottery sim all day, every day if we wanted to. Remember, I did it last time, and OKC won first try because of that Clippers pick. But I'm not going to do that tonight. I'm not going to even do a lottery sim right now. There's too much basketball left to be played to be concerned about the team winning too much. Unless they won 7 games in a row or something like that, that's not going to happen.
Flumps Jugs, your uncle. Very interesting name there. DeBonza's gonna be so happy to come here. Hey, if you're AJ DeBonza, you see 2 wins in a row. DC's calling for you, man.
Oh man, we're
Joshua,
a destination now. We're a destination now
100%.
after 2 wins.
I mean, if you look at it tonight, we look like a better destination compared to the Memphis Grizzlies. Just
Well,
saying.
let's look at it this way, though. Alex Sarr did duck Atlanta to come play in D.C., and that's very interesting. I think that's a little bit overlooked, and maybe it's because he thought the situation was... Ace Bailey tried to duck everybody to get to Washington as well because he felt like the situation would be better for him. Are we going to be that type of team for one of those players as well? I just hope we're picking number 1 overall so nobody even has to make that decision. We can just take the best player that we want to take.
Mm-hmm. Joshua also says winning is definitely good for culture. It is 100%. Mr. Bond V2 says the young guns are beginning to understand their role. And that's what we've been talking about. Just be patient and everything will come into play. Joshua also says won the game without George. That is growth. A lot of people don't look at developing. Mr. Bond V2 also says Bub is still learning. Yes, this kid is 20 years old. He's only going to get better up from here. Coach Hall 86 says get rid of the vets. What do you think, Ben, right now? Do you think CJ can get you a first-round pick if the Wizards traded him today?
Not without a massive salary dump coming from somebody else, a big contract the Wizards would have to take on. Even then, I don't know. And I don't really like saying I don't know to a question, but genuinely it's kind of hard to gauge it. I'm going to say probably not. That's what my gut tells me now, but I could be wrong.
We'll see. We'll see if Will Dawkins can pull out some magic. Real Progress in Action says, what's up with AB's mic? I think it's good now. Hopefully you guys can hear me properly. I really apologize for that. I was too hyped, and I guess I forgot to switch from my headphones to my mic. Go Wiz, though. Law just keeps saying, stop winning. Rick Matthew D7J says, Adam Silver sent Dawkins and Keefe that stern email telling them to stop the damn tanking immediately or he'll change the draft lottery. Now all of us said the team won 4 out of 7. I mean, hey, Ben, is that a coincidence?
I don't think any of the lottery stuff they were pertaining to is going to affect anything this year. That would be nuts. Can you imagine the outrage there would be in DC if they randomly said, we're going to change the lottery right now, after the season's done, by the way.
No, it's like we finished our last post-game show, game 82, and Adam Silver's like, hey, AB and Ben, you guys aren't getting a top 4 pick because you guys were tanking.
We're going to get an email from Adam Silver himself. Hey, one thing I want to point out, remember we had people in our comments, and a lot of people were saying that we should trade for Ja Morant. Do they still think the same thing? I was very against that.
Right
very,
on
very
cue.
against that.
Igor says, let's go. Glad we don't have Ja. Ja Morant in DC with this, that would have been more of a headache than how Brad's situation ended here in Washington. Man.
I don't think it would work. I just don't think it's the right situation. I would not want Ja to be brought in. I don't think it would make much sense. I don't think Dawkins would be interested in it.
Yeah, 100%. WJM398 says, great win, shows growth. Yes. OBJ Dadone says, AJ DeBonza will be in DC. Hey, crossing our fingers. Locked on Loss says, shout out, though, to the clowns who think the Wiz need DeBonza more than they need Boozer or Peterson. I still think DeBonza is my number 1 guy. Peterson is, I'd say, like a 1B because of the fit. But when it comes to superstar, Ben, DeBonza has that written all over.
Just take the best player available. I'm not really a fan of drafting for fit, especially in a draft like this. Whoever the organization decides, based on whatever they use to make those decisions, because I'm not a part of that process. Obviously, I have no clue what they're looking at. I can just watch the games and say what I think, and I think DeBonza is number 1 for me right now. But there's still plenty of time left in the college basketball season. It could change.
Dispo11110 says, where Bilal haters at now in silence? I will say I'm going to eat some crow. I was really worried, but these back-to-back games, these 2 wins, he's been looking great. His ability to go downhill, the offensive usage, the efficiency. I was stressed out and worried because the injuries, being in and out of the lineup, how can you find a rhythm there? And then when he's in the lineup, he only shoots 6 shots, but now he's looking completely different. This is a Bilal Coulibaly who plays with confidence, who plays defense as well on top of that, and who can be a really good piece here for years to come. We'll just need to see more games like this. You stack them up. Let me see. Sammy the Champy says AJ Johnson's talent being wasted. Again, maybe it's not right now. We're not going to see much of him, but maybe it's going to be like last season where we see a lot of AJ Johnson towards the second half of the season. I remember last year before the season ended, he had a great game against Brooklyn. He was hitting clutch shots towards the end of the game. Maybe that's going to be the theme tonight when you move on from a guy like McCollum, Middleton, and potentially maybe other vets on this team. I think AJ is going to have a key role in the second half of the season.
I wonder if he's frustrated because given the issues they've had at guard this year and he still hasn't found a way to crack the rotation and play any meaningful minutes, I wonder how that sits with him. But I know they've also gave him some stints with the go-go, some other chances to develop. So maybe there's a plan in place and he's aware of it and he's okay with the situation. But it is interesting to think about.
Yeah. Maybe he's just not there yet, and he's a young kid. It'll take some time. Remember, he
could be the case.
He was a first-round pick in the 2024 draft class, so give him some time for sure.
He's got to put on some size for sure.
Yeah. Rick Matthews also says, hate to break it to you, folks. We've seen the script. We know a 15-game losing streak is soon to follow. We have seen the script. Keefe is destined to get an all-time coach losing percentage. Again, guys, tonight, I mean, say what you want about Brian Keefe, but it was the fact that the team, I think the Memphis went on a huge run late in that third quarter. The Wiz bounced back, and anytime we see those teams go on that run, they usually pull away in the fourth, and the Wiz lose by 20 points. But tonight, you just can't say that. And I think we're going to see more competitive basketball from here on out. I'm hoping.
I hope you're right. Hey, one thing we got to point out, and I saw someone comment, and I didn't even really, this kind of flew over my head. 24 of 25 from the free throw line tonight. Shout out to the Wizards. Good stuff. Get to the line and make your free throws.
For a reason, baby.
Yeah, you're probably going to win games if you shoot that well from the free throw line and you get there enough. So that is good to see. Anything else? Any other comments we got here, AB? Or is this it?
The only comment I got is back-to-back wins, Bennett. We're going for 3 in a row tomorrow, man.
There's a chance to do it tomorrow. Phoenix Suns in the building will be here, as always, for your post-game coverage here on the Locked On Wizards podcast. Over 70 of you in here. Shout out to all of you legends, especially the ones that watch the channel every single day. Finally, back-to-back shows, post-game shows with a win. We'll continue to break it all down. Be sure to keep it locked on.
We're going for
the
that
Locked On
streak,
Wizards
man.
channel. Let's do it. DC family, we'll talk to you tomorrow.